Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video. So, where have I been? What happened with all the upload? What happened with the promises of me uploading a video every other day? Seems that I have broken that promise. Well, yes and no. So on this video, I'm just going to kind of let you guys know what has been going on. And yeah, there has been something to stop me from actually uploading. And that big something is my internet. So what happened was I really did have the content set up and ready to go, and I was going to schedule it and everything, but my internet went down. It went down for a couple of days. I tried resetting the router, I've tried doing all sorts of things, it just wouldn't want to work. So after that, I did have to go on a couple of trips that of course I have planned and had planned for quite a couple of days. So that means of course that for a few days there wasn't any content here on the channel. That also means of course that now that it's up and running again, I have some content which I will upload. So my temptation, my thought here is to just go back to the daily schedule instead of every other day. Or maybe I could probably just take this as a break and still carry on with one video every other day. I don't know. I think I'm more likely tempted to go with the daily upload schedule, just because, although to be fairly honest, there isn't really all that much to cover. At the moment I'm also playing Need for Speed Heat in the background. I do want to get enough footage to make a little cinematic for all of the cutscenes in the game. On top of that, I'm also playing and enjoying the game. And oh, just on that topic, you know, whilst I did not have internet, because everything in this world and today's era requires internet, the only game I could actually play without any internet was Cyberpunk. So on that note, I did manage to finish Cyberpunk. Don't get me wrong, I did not miss the internet. It was I mean, it's a nice commodity. I like having it at my fingertips. I like being able to access it as and when I need it. For 3 or 4 days, to be fairly honest, I cannot say that I missed having the internet on the computer. Of course, in the background there was always a thought of uploading content to the channel, but unfortunately I couldn't really make any content because most of the games that I have do require a connection to the internet. I mean, for God's sakes, I couldn't even start up Need for Speed Heat because it needs a initial connection to the internet for the Origin launcher. That's what it's called, the Origin launcher, to start up. And without the internet, it wouldn't start up, the game wouldn't start up, and so on. But I did manage to finish Cyberpunk 2077. I was going to go for the Johnny ending, but somewhere along the lines I did of course kind of make a bit of a mistake in terms of the dialogue options, which didn't give me that ending. But I finished it. You know, I finished it. I did every single mission in the game. There's nothing left to do. Now of course there is going to be some sort of a DLC, a free DLC coming, so I'm gonna keep that game on my hard drive for the time being, and then once that's out I will play it. I'll see if there's anything to make videos on with regards to that. If not, I will then uninstall the game, and that's kind of the end of Cyberpunk 2077 for me. Now, personally speaking, I really liked Johnny Silverhand as a character, and I think the game had a very good story, but a lot of, I mean, gameplay wise it wasn't memorable, if that makes sense, but the story was good. I really liked Johnny Silverhand's and V's story, so that's where it sold me. Now going forward, I will of course be covering the Arc Genesis 2, so I'm looking forward to that. And on this topic, I just want to ask you guys out there, because I know it's been a while since I've done any type of content for Arc. Of course, there are still some DLC creatures that I can make guides on with regards to taming them. Do you guys want me to do that? Do you want me to make video content for Arc? What kind of content do you want me to make if it's around Arc? Now, of course, as I said, I think it's creatures that I still have to cover, potentially from the Scorched Earth DLC onwards. Now, I did make guides for those creatures initially when those DLCs came out, but of course I can always go back and recover those creatures, have a look at better ways of taming them and stuff like that. If you guys want me to do stuff like that, let me know. I also put the question in the community section on my YouTube channel as well, just to make sure that people do get the option of voting. It's probably going to be a yes no type of question. I'll have to figure that one out. I'll have to think that one out because I want to see what people want. So we're going to go with that. And of course, I think next month we still have the Arc Genesis 2 to look forward to, unless it gets postponed again. But I think this time around it will most likely not get postponed. We'll see what happens. On another topic, I am also looking, or on the same, while I'm here on the topic of games, I'm also looking forward to the updated version of the Mass Effect trilogy. That's a game that I'm looking forward to buying and playing. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that, to be fairly honest with you all. I mean, you can't really make much of a story cinematic type of thing. I could give that a go though, but I'm quite curious to see what the first Mass Effect looks like. Now that has been quite fully remastered, so visuals and graphics and gameplay and controls, that should feel a bit better than the very first Mass Effect game, which by now is fairly old. And to be honest, I'm glad they did that because it didn't age too well. Now, I never played the Andromeda game, the Mass Effect Andromeda. I was initially going to get it, I was initially going to play it, but then when I saw the reviews for it and when I saw what the story was like, I thought it was dull and boring, nothing even close to what the original trilogy was. And so I just did not want to taint my view, my image of the Mass Effect games with something like that. So I never actually played it. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to cover. I mean, initially I just wanted to let you guys know that yes, I did disappear off the channel for a bit. Most of it, well, not really my fault, had nothing to do with it. I did manage to fix the internet. I did it myself, actually. I had an engineer that was about to come out today, but I did it myself. I basically went and bought out a bunch of cables and changed out every single cable, and eventually, thank God for that, I managed to get it fixed. So that means we are back on schedule. So with that being said and done, that is pretty much it for this video, folks. I'll see y'all in the next video.